Welcome back to Returning to Love. We are so excited to have you back today and to welcome our guest speaker today. It's Megan Wiseman. She has been a friend of ours for a long time and is a very gifted and talented, um, warm-hearted person who is out to help the world. Megan is a certified clinical hypnotherapist, empowering Christian entrepreneurial women to heal and live in their divine feminine wisdom. She guides women to awaken their spiritual gifts, break free from perfectionism and self doubt, and step boldly into their God given calling. Through intuitive hypnotherapy, ancient wisdom, and faith filled mentorship, Megan helps women lead their lives and businesses with clarity, confidence, and joy. Known for weaving humor, heart, and deep spiritual insight, she invites women to embrace their inner tree of life, a living map of divine alignment and purpose. Welcome, Megan. We're so glad you're here and we're so excited to hear what you have to teach.
Yes, thank you. I love hearing that from you. It's fun to hear about yourself from another perspective, someone else. So thank you for sharing more about me. I'm super excited. I was tuning into what message I was meant to share here, and it's a very special message that is near and dear to my heart. And it's deep and it's filled with wisdom, which is all the good things I love. So I'm really excited to share more about the divine nature and eternal destiny of women, because women are my jam. So we're going to tune into how we reconnect to this and how we remember this for ourselves. I know a lot of us have heard this talked about in different spaces, especially, in religious places or other places. We've heard the word divine nature and eternal destiny for many, many years, but I don't know if we truly understand the deep meaning behind these terms. So we're going to dive deeper into what that means for us today. So let me show you a little more. I've prepared a pretty thing for you so you can follow along with me. So hopefully I can find it and we can get started on the good stuff. Okay, so let me know if you can see this on your end, ladies. Okay, here we go. The divine nature and eternal destiny of women. Okay, here we go. So we're going to get started on, oh, I'm at the very end, so don't mind me. I did review this with you guys. You're going to get a preview of coming attractions. I love it. All the fun stuff that we're going to cover. Okay, here we go. We're now at the beginning. So the divine nature and eternal destiny of women, reconnecting and remembering to who we are. Boom, boom, boom. So exciting. I mean, it sounds like everything you've ever heard, but I want to take you on a deeper level because, that's what I do with people. I like to go deeper into topics and help us understand the deeper wisdom inside them. So we're going to start by talking about Christ because I am a big fan of him. So if you don't know him or if you haven't heard of him, that's okay. But he's a really powerful divine being in the universe who helps restore us to our divine nature. Um, Through Christ, we move beyond our human nature and are reconnected to our divine nature, the truth of who we have always been. So I know that we talk a lot of Christ, we preach of Christ, but really what he's helping us do is to remember our divine nature and move out of our more human nature, right? We came here, we've been in this human state. I don't know if you relate to this picture, but when I saw this picture, that's kind of how I feel as a human sometimes. I feel a little broken, I feel depleted, I feel downtrodden, and I really love how this being is great and powerful in the universe, but he is also so completely intimate and connected to each of us individually. And just like this woman here, even in her human, humble state, he can restore her and return her to her divine nature, just like each one of us. So We just got to start at the beginning with my favorite guy in the universe. Okay, next we're going to talk about, not this one yet. Oh, there we go. We'll get there. Okay, so divine nature and knowledge of Christ. I was actually asked to teach this presentation and I wanted to research divine nature and I didn't even know divine nature was found in the scriptures, but it is. And so this is the scripture that I found. It says, "Be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption." Oh, I can't see that word. Just escape the corruption that is in the world, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to your virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity. Okay, all those things we've heard, right? We're going to add all those things to be in our divine nature. So listen to this part. For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren or unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. So just like I said, like as we develop our divine nature, we become more connected to our knowledge of Jesus Christ. And the scripture kind of shows that for us in a deep way. So when I see this as like this reciprocal relationship. Like when we seek to remember our divine nature, our relationship with Christ deepens. And as our relationship with Christ deepens, he helps us remember our divine nature. So it's this beautiful thing. Like if you're seeking to know your divine nature, you're going to know Christ. If you're seeking to know Christ, he's going to lead you to your divine nature. So I just love that beautiful idea that no matter which way you're seeking, you're going to receive beautiful things. Okay, so we've heard the word divine nature often, but I am a word person and I love definitions and the meanings of words. So we're going to break this down a little. What is the meaning of divine? It is of, from, or like God, or a God, devoted to God and sacred. So of, from, or like God. Okay. So remember that as we go forward, this is going to be important. And then your nature is this innate or essential quality character of a person. So like God, from God, these innate essential qualities and characteristics are like God or from God or of God. So I love that because your divine nature is essentially connecting you to God and all that they have created you from. Okay. So that will help us as we begin diving deeper into what divine nature is. So I always like to think, okay, what is the opposite? And I found this quote is so perfect for this. It's our divine nature has nothing to do with our personal accomplishments, the status we achieve, the number of marathons we run, our popularity, and self-esteem. Our divine nature comes from God. It was established in an existence that preceded our birth and will continue on into eternity. So I don't know about you, like raise your hands. Maybe you thought that your divine nature was this checklist of things that I need to do in order to be more divine and like God. I like this because it's not anything that you do. It's who you are. It's the being that you are. So I kind of liked to make a list of ideas. And I know I don't want you to look at this list and say, oh my gosh, these are all the things I have to do to be divine. No. And this is what my divine nature is. I'm going to go check these boxes. Sometimes beingness is hard to understand or describe. So if it's not a checklist, then what is it? Oh, it's the way that I love, the way that I feel love. It's that nurturing nature that I have. It's the faith. It's that spiritual wisdom that I carry. It's the integrity and truth and courage that I have. It's that kindness and generosity that's just easy and natural for me. It's joy. It's hopeful. It's creativity. It's inspired. Okay, and now you're like, oh, great. I'm kind of a mess and I'm not doing a lot of these things. That's okay. Sometimes your human nature overpowers your divine nature. And that's what we talked in the beginning. Christ helps us restore our divine nature. Maybe you're in a state of a lot of fear. Maybe you're believing things about yourself that don't allow you to see and understand and experience your divine nature fully. That's okay. That's what you came here to be. You came here to be slightly, you know, a little bit of a mess, make a lot of mistakes, but then allow God and Christ to restore you back into your true divine nature. So don't try to check all these off your list, but we're going to go deeper into maybe some of the ones you notice in yourself and others. Okay, reflection question. So I want you guys to kind of interact with this in your own way. So you can write this down, you can ponder it in your heart. We'll have a few more coming up, but how does understanding divine nature as who you are rather than what you do change the way you understand your own divine nature? So I'm just going to give you a minute. Nobody has to answer out loud. What does that change for you? Knowing that it's not things that you're checking off, it's just who you are. Okay, that probably gives us enough time to kind of integrate that question. And I love working with our brains and expanding our brains to new ways of thinking about things. So this is even just helping your brain be like, wait, maybe my divine nature is not as hard to find as I thought. It's not something that I have to achieve. It's something that's already inside of me. That's what it does for me. It makes me feel like, oh, this is not something that is going to be hard because it's who I am. It's your nature. It's in the word. It's divine nature. It's your natural way of being. So for me, it makes it seem more easy, more able for me to understand this part of myself and bring it forward if it's just the way that I am. So I hope that opens up like that pressure and like, oh no, a lesson on divine nature. And now I know how not divine I am because I'm human. But that you're like, oh man, maybe these are things that are just the way I am and it's natural. And maybe I'm not even aware of what my divine nature is and my qualities. So that's what's going to lead us to our next question. So we're going to start thinking about divine nature embodied in real life humans. So maybe is there a scripture of women? I love women in the scriptures, or a person in your life that you admire that has divine gifts or attributes that you recognize in her. So you can just bring this up in your mind like, oh, my friend is so good at listening. And I just love when I'm with her and she just makes me feel so seen and has so much compassion, right? That kind of ability to do that is a natural gift of hers. So that can be a simple thing as being a good listener, right? I'm thinking of women in the scriptures that I admire, who I believe have spiritual gifts. I believe that Eve had a gift of discernment, of choosing good and the best, even when it was a hard decision. I don't know if that's the right way to say, but I really respect her ability to make choices and do the right thing, even when it was hard. I know I really love Mary, the mother of Christ, and her ability to receive messages from angels and have faith to follow that. I Those are just a couple of my examples. Oh, I can't forget Mary Magdalene. She's my friend and my favorite too. I just love that she was a disciple of Christ and she was willing to follow him, even in a time when it was probably different and hard for women to do the things that she was doing with him. And that she just had a great love and desire to learn from Christ. So those are just some examples from me. I'd love to hear yours, but just think about all the women in the world and all the beautiful attributes and divine gifts that they have and how that helps you recognize the divine nature of women. Because, we embody a lot of those gifts and it's good to acknowledge that. Okay, so divine origin, destiny, and gifts. I just looked for some good quotes that would help us see our divine destiny, our gifts. So you are a blessed being of light, the spirit child of an infinite God, and you bear within you a potential beyond your capacity to imagine. Your origin story is divine. So is your destiny. You left heaven to come here, but heaven has never left you. You are anything but ordinary. You are gifted. As the prophet Moroni said, deny not the gifts of God, for they are many, and they come from the same God. So I just love this like champion, like your origin story is divine. I mean, we know that we come from divinity. That's huge. Not everybody believes or knows that. And also the things and the capacity that you have are more than you can even imagine, right? Because we think, oh, I don't know if I could do all that. And we limit ourselves. But we have a capacity and an eternal destiny that's beyond anything we can even think about. I love that. So we also are asked to not deny these gifts, that they come from God. There's so many. I love that because there's so many ways spiritual gifts and our divine nature are manifest through people. Even the gift itself can manifest differently in a different kind of way through each individual person. So I love this. Okay, so now we're going to get to the good stuff. I know a lot of this felt familiar and you got really comfortable, but I want to kind of expand your knowledge of divine nature in an even bigger way today. So we've learned how can we learn more about our divine nature and destiny of women? Okay, so everything here felt fairly familiar and comfortable. Let's maybe go into new insights that you might not have heard. So as begotten children of heavenly parents, we are endowed with potential to become like them, just as mortal children may become like mortal parents. So I love this because essentially this quote is saying that we're not just going to become like our father, but we're going to become like our mother. Like there are two beings who are godly, who created us, and we are their children. And we will become like them. I feel like this is a big deal, especially for women. I don't know if men recognize that space and that hollowness that women feel when we are talking about a male God all the time, and that we are created in his image and will become like him and we will return to him. There's like a part of me that's always just felt like there's something missing here. And since I've come to know and understand more about the mother and her role and her connection to us, my heart is so happy because it feels more right and more true to understand that my divine nature and destiny as a woman is to become like her and that I'm created in her image. Science, and it just makes sense. Like you become what your parents are, and if you are female, you will become like the female. So it just makes sense for me to help us understand on a different level what this means for us as women. I like the supportive quotes. You will become as your mother. It's pretty straightforward. We not only have a father in that high and glorious place, but we have a mother too. And you will become as great as your mother if you are faithful. Oh, I just love that this was spoken and that in my research, I was able to find like this direct like quote that supports my belief and my desire that not only do we have a father, but we have a mother and we are becoming like her. So good. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay. The attributes of God are our divine nature. So This is another quote from John A. Woodstow. We have a mother who possesses the attributes of God. So if she possesses the attributes of God and we are to become like her, then wouldn't it make sense that our divine nature is connected to her and her attributes? That maybe there's a part of you that the way that you express yourself is like your mother, right? You might go around and say, oh, have you ever said like, oh, I totally did this just like my mother or my father? I'm so like my father, right? Our human parents, we see their attributes in us. So why would it be any different than for us to see the attributes of our heavenly parents in us? And especially as women, our mother, because we don't get to talk about her enough. And I know that it's time for that to change because it is so important for us to understand our divine nature. And in order to understand our divine nature, we need to know her because she is like us and we are like her and we are her daughters. Okay, remembering her is remembering ourselves. That's just what I said. Okay, so when I first tuned in, I was asked to teach this, and then I kind of tuned in and I get like a ringing in my ear. So I heard it, it was on my left side. I know that's from a woman, and I was like, oh, this is Mother. And this is what she said to me. So I listened in for the message. She says, tell them about me. They have forgotten me. Teach them about me by teaching them about their own divine nature. So not only do I feel like it's my idea that we need to know her, that just feels right. I feel like on her part, think of you as a mother. When it when is your joy the most full? When your children love you and they're with you and they know who you are and they receive your wisdom and you can connect with them. What if she desires that same thing for you? Like she wants you to know more about yourself by knowing your divine nature because your divine nature connects you to her. So maybe it wouldn't be so bad for you to understand more about yourself. If knowing her scares you and you haven't gotten to that point, that's okay. You don't have to be there. But what if discovering your own divine nature would help you know her? And it didn't have to be so complex. It didn't have to be this big deal, right? It could just be if I understand my divine nature, I understand Mother. If I understand Mother, I understand my divine nature. Just kind of like that reciprocal relationship we talked about with Christ. We can create that with our heavenly parents and our mother. So, next, this is my own personal story and testimony of when I first wanted to know more about her and where she's been. So, the first time that I really connected with her, I was actually kind of mad at God. So I'm just going to tell you my anger came out first in prayer and kind of just, God, why don't we get to know her? It just doesn't make sense. Where has she been? And why have you kept us from her? And it was like kind of a frustrated, angry, sad space, like just kind of lamenting at God, which is okay to do. You can handle it. I promise. He's really powerful. So then after I threw my little fit and tantrum, I received some peace. Letting go of that like emotional fire inside of you is okay. We have that as women. Um, Once that had settled and I released all the anger and fear and sadness, I could sense more. And the thing that I received was her. And I was kind of in shock because I never really like connected to her because I didn't know we could. So the thing I heard was, I've always been with you. And I was like, oh, that's not from Father, that's from her. And then she showed me this image. She showed me the world and her arms around it. So I just saw this woman with the earth and the earth as her womb. I know there's so much deep spiritual wisdom in this, and I might have to teach another class another day. But I just wanted you to know that she has always been with us. And whatever this means to you, I'd love to discuss later. But for me, we do call our Earth Mother Earth. and we do connect in some way with her through the elements and the home that was created here for us. And somehow that all connects to us. And the interesting thing about this story is I had just done a session, a hypnotherapy session with a person who went back to when they were in their mother's womb. So I was able to see from that perspective because I was trying to get that person to connect to their mother and feel safe with her and realize that she was all around her. And it was almost like I could see it in my own mind. Just like a baby in the womb doesn't really meet their mother, mother is all around them. Mother's heartbeat, mother's liquids and fluids. She hears the breath. She senses mother all around her, but she doesn't necessarily know she's there until she meets her, you know? Anyway, that's really deep and powerful, but I want you to just kind of digest that. I don't know on a spiritual level what that means. I don't have doctrine to back this up. I just have the feeling that she wanted me to know that she has always been with me. And even though I wasn't aware or knew it, that I have always been connected with her. And because she's my mother, that makes sense. And that she wouldn't want to ever leave us. It makes sense. She wants to be very much a part of our lives and has been, even if we've just been nurtured by her throughout our whole lives and didn't have that awareness of her quite yet. Oh, okay. We could go on for days, but we're just going to touch on that. I'm going to let you ponder that. You can always create your own experience with her in whatever way you want. I know she wants to connect with us. Okay. So, your divine nature and destiny. This is like my favorite quote about all the things. That's kind of why it's at the end. But it says, Sisters, I testify that when you stand in front of your heavenly parents in those royal courts on high, you will look into her eyes and behold her countenance, and any question you ever had about the role of women in the kingdom will evaporate into rich celestial air. Because at that moment, you will see, standing directly in front of you, your divine nature and destiny. So I love this. For me, it kind of defines that divine nature and eternal destiny because it's telling us that we're going to look into her eyes and see that divine nature and destiny. And that our divine nature and destiny is more than we have even thought. It's becoming divine, like our mother. And in order to know something or become like something, it's important to connect with that. So, even though this may be new, or maybe it feels so familiar and right, either way, I just wanted to invite you to know her on a different level. And in knowing her, you get to know yourself and your divine nature and your destiny, just like you said. And I love that. Okay, so we're going to do another reflection question. This one's more, we've kind of done ones about others. We're going to turn this internal. What divine attribute do you recognize in yourself, and how might that reflect the nature of our Heavenly Mother? Okay, and you can just take a minute with that. Is there something about you that just feels so natural or easy that you just do? Maybe she can even tell you that if you're that connected. I know some of you are. What is something about you that connects you to her nature? It's like her. I'll share mine after. Okay, I'll let you keep pondering. I'd let you ponder all day if I could, because we don't get enough time to ponder. But just keep thinking. If you haven't come with one, go ask a friend. They'll probably be able to tell you. Sometimes we can't see it in ourselves. So for me, this one, every time I've connected with her or sensed her, um, I hear her singing, which is so good because guess what? I love singing. So I didn't ever connect that my love of singing and sharing music, writing music, and hearing music come to me in that beautiful way was connected to her because she has this beautiful ability to sing, and her songs are very healing. And I've heard some, and they are beautiful. But for me, singing helps me connect to my divine nature and to my Heavenly Mother. So that's just an example. And you're welcome to share yours too, or just record those and reflect on them and bring them forward in your own life and realize you might have more of a connection to her than you know because your divine nature essentially reflects her into the world. And although the world doesn't know her right now as well as we could, we as women hold the essence of her in us. And I believe some of us who are brave and excited and willing will be able to bring that remembrance back to the world. Not necessarily like me, because I'm being like all bold and here she is. You don't have to go out and preach about her like I do because it's fun and I love her and I want everyone, and especially every woman, to know this. It can be taught, it can be by your being in this world, that her presence and essence is remembered. It's by you living in your divine nature, sharing your love, your compassion, your faith, your courage, your strength, your wisdom, all of those things that you express through your being as a powerful woman on this earth are reminding those around you of that feminine power, that feminine wisdom, that the world is hungry for. I don't know if you know this world state, but I think the world needs a little more feminine power and wisdom. And we might be able to balance out the state that we're in. So, as we start living in our divine nature, we start remembering our connection to her, we can bring back that balance of the feminine and masculine to the earth. And that's a story for another day because we could talk all about feminine and masculine and how important both are. But I know that that is missing and the earth needs it. And we get to express that through us by living in our divine nature. Okay, so this kind of getting to the end and then we're going to do the fun part. I know you thought this was fun, but there's more. From our human nature to our divine nature, kind of circling back where we started. So Christ meets us in our human nature and restores us to our divine nature. We are not meant to be perfect on our own. So all of you perfectionists out there, I know I'm one. I'm a recovering perfectionist. We don't have to be divine every minute of our life. We don't have to be doing everything right in order to be these divine goddesses. We will be there one day, yes. But it's okay to be met in your human nature, in your mistakes, in my anger, in my mess, in order to develop our divine nature. I know that some of my greatest gifts have come from diving into the opposite of it, right? To the pain, to the reflection of fear, all the things that I've done that aren't beautiful. When I bring those to Christ, and when I also witness other people that I work with bring those to Christ, you can see that transformation from that human, messy self to the divine nature that's underneath it, that's blossoming as we allow ourselves to heal at those deeper levels. So don't give yourself like, oh no, I'm not divine today. I'm a very human person. That's okay. I love human people. I actually love the messy mistakes and the ones who make me feel normal. It's totally fine. We are totally cool where we're at, but we can love ourselves and bring ourselves to Christ to help us remember our divine nature and feel that nurturing presence of our heavenly parents in our hearts and lives. Okay, I think we're almost there. Okay, oh no, we have one more question. This is important because I'm about to lead you in a meditative uh, process, and we're going to do some connection to Christ. So if you've never done this, guess what? Christ can come to you now. We always talk about having him later, But my favorite place to go is into the meditation and invite spiritual divinity there. And one of my favorites is Christ. So if you are excited to meet him today for the first time in this space, yay. If you do it all the time, yay. But just be open to receive him in whatever way. This doesn't have to look like I see his glorious face and he's all here. Sometimes for me, it looks like his hands, his shape, the feeling of him, words flowing through me. So if you don't see his face, it's okay. We're just going to create a space where his presence and essence can be here so we can practice what I just preached today, not just teach you. I love experiential um, learning. We're going to offer him a fear, a belief, or a burden that you might be holding in your body, in your being, something that's coming up for you. I want you to just bring that to your awareness today. What is something that if I could hand this over to Christ and feel this lifted off of my being today, what would that be for you? Because we're going to actually do that. And how maybe this will help, maybe this thing will help you understand or receive or remember your divine nature more clearly. So I'll just give you a minute to reflect on what that is for you. Okay. Hopefully you've had a minute to just bring it up to your awareness so that we can get to the fun part for you. I know I'm just talking at you. Now I want you to do my favorite thing is to go inside, to feel the feels, to experience the internal. Okay. Sometimes that's scary for people who've done this, haven't done this very often, but just know that in order to move through some of these things, to let those go, often we have to face them head on. So maybe this fear, burden, or thing might feel a little hard to get into. Just know and trust the process that I'm going to guide you into that space and out of that space. Also, going to put it out there that if you feel like you need some more support, this is what I do. And I have lots of spaces to support women if there's something that comes up and you need more time to process. And I will include a link for different things for that if you need more support. Okay. Okay, so now we're just going to take, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. So find a comfortable spot. I'm going to guide you into your body, into your being, into your soul. Also, I always like to say this experience will come through the senses of your body. So it doesn't necessarily have to be only the imagination. I teach that we have these intuitive senses that are the language of our spirit, right? We can see things, we can hear things, we can feel things. So if I'm asking you to imagine, but you're just feeling something, that's okay. If I'm asking you to listen, but you're just, seeing this picture in your mind, it's okay. I want your body, your being to help you receive the insights and inspiration the way that it works for you. And because we're in a group space, the words I use often will hit for some people and land for others, and others might be still processing in their own way. So just let the spiritual guidance from your spirit guide you. I'm just holding that space and guiding the process. But you all might, which I've learned in groups, like everyone here is going to have their own experience. So just let your experience be what it is. Don't overthink it. Let the body and the spirit communicate with you in the best way that works for you. If it's your first time, it might take a little time. If it's your 100 millionth time, you're going to just go right in and have your own experience. So whatever level you're at, just trust it, allow it, and give gratitude to it. Okay, so now we're going to finally get there. I want you to just close your eyes. I want you to start taking some deep breaths. I'm going to stop sharing so you can see my cute face. So just start breathing and releasing and relaxing into the body. When you're ready, you can close your eyes and just allow each breath to take you more deep into the body, into the sensations of your body. And if it helps, bring awareness to your breath and just let the breath bring you inward, noticing that natural rhythm of your breath, breathing in and out, receiving and releasing is a beautiful natural process that you go through each day with each breath. I want you to feel your body so supported in this space. Start bringing awareness to the top of your head and scanning all the way down to the tip of your toes. Some of us become so disconnected from the body that we forget that we have one. But the body loves awareness and acknowledgement. It loves connection and communication with you. And if you take time and space like this to communicate and connect to your body, it won't have to shout. It can whisper, it can express in times of calm, of deep connection. So today you are tuning into the body to let it tell you the stories that it needs to tell and to feel the feels that it needs to feel. And as you breathe, just allow the noise of the day to settle and fade. And each breath just takes you deeper, making more room for this stillness, for this presence. Okay, good. It feels like you guys are ready now. So let's move into that light. We're going to create a space of light around you. When I call in light, it's a very literal thing. We speak of light and truth, and there's a true light that supports and surrounds us if we allow ourselves to receive it and let it in. We just see where this light is coming. Okay, we're just going to see a light from above. Just imagine divine light from the holy highest places on in the universe coming down, created just for you to support you, touching the top of your head and opening that space. It looks like a flower to me, a crown at the top of your head, opening, receiving, letting that light start to descend through you, all the way through the body, through the cells, through the tissues. We're just grounding you, connecting you to divine light so that you can feel safe to feel and experience what you came here to do today. That divine light's moving every space and place until it comes out the bottom of your feet and grows roots to the center of the earth. And then I want you to feel that light at the center of your heart. And as the heart pulses, it creates this beautiful field around you. I want you to start being in awareness to that field and space around you. And let the light that's inside of you expand and fill that entire space around you till you feel completely supported, nourished, sustained by this light. That light feels important. Some of you may have this light flowing through you all the time. Some of you may have just received it again for the first time in a while, and your body's like, thank you. They talk about nourishing the body and spirit. And I believe spirit nourishes with light. So just let your spirit be nourished in this space, feeling safe, feeling grounded. I am safe. The light clears away distractions, softens the heart, opens and prepares for receiving. Okay, now that we're grounded, we're protected, we're going to use the spiritual imagination to create a space of receiving divine messages and insights. So we're going to imagine you are in a beautiful meadow. This meadow feels bright, it feels familiar. You can hear or see what you need to in the meadow. Often I'll hear birds or see beautiful flowers, surrounding trees, just creating this sacred space for you to create beautiful divine connection. I also want you to know and be aware that this kind of space can be um, visited whenever you would like. If it's hard for you to create a connection with God, the imagination, the internal connection with God is a very helpful tool. And sometimes when you see or experience spirit in the body through seeing, through hearing, through feeling, you can receive inspiration and revelation in a different way than you might have in your life previously. That the body was a tool designed to allow you to experience God in it and through it. So today, give your body permission to allow you to receive this insight and inspiration that is going to be created for you today. Okay, let me just make sure the space is prepared and protected. No, we're just going to call in heavenly angels to surround each individual in need of support, protection. So just see these angels surrounding the sphere around you. Some hi, some are like familiar, they're like hi. Some of your ancestors, some of your guides. And we just have to ask our angels, and they're right there. Just a note to self. Is the space protected? Are we prepared? Yes. Okay, now I got the go ahead. Okay, let's move into that fear and feeling. I know you're probably feeling so peaceful, so lovely, and it's like, no, don't take me out of this. But like we talked about, all the emotions, and fears, and feelings that we have give us an opportunity to come to Christ to lift that burden off of your being. Because you are human and you do have experiences here that feel heavy, that feel hard to carry. So today we're going to show you how that feels and looks so that you can lift that burden. We hear him say that all the time. I will take your burdens upon me. But some of us don't know how to actually do that. What's that process look like? So today I'm going to take you through a process. It's the way I like to do it. Sometimes it's different, but I hope this can give you a little gift in a way that you can truly experience Christ more fully and with your body and with your being. So I want you to imagine you're in that field. You're, I don't think you're going to be alone for a minute. Yes, first we're going to start in a, like, you can find a cozy place to sit in the field, or you can sit on a rock. You can lay in the grass. I just want you to sit in that peaceful place, but I want you to also allow that heavy burden that you carry to start to come forward. So the thing that you picked in the beginning, bring that forward in your body and your being. I want you to notice where you're holding that. And let the body start to bring awareness to that fear, that feeling, that burden. And let the body bring it to your awareness and hold that space. Secret is half of healing is just feeling, and allow the body to express that feeling through you. So that bring that to the forefront of your awareness, to the body, to the spaces and places in you that hold that. Okay, now that you're holding that sacred feeling, we're going to invite our visitor. I'm going to see in that field or approaching, or just sense his presence. If you don't see him fully, it's okay. Just sense the presence of our friend, our brother, Christ, coming to you in a very familiar way. It's like, oh, I remember you. Oh, it doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel awkward. It feels like a familiar essence and presence. And then as he approaches, you stand. See you guys standing, and then you approach him the way that feels right for you. Could be a hug, could be falling at his feet, could be just whatever it needs to be for you. And then as you finish your greetings, I want you to stand, and I want you to see his hands reached out to yours. I want you to place your hands in his. And as your hands touch his hands, you see these markings. And these markings are a beautiful reminder, but I feel when I've connected with him, they also are a doorway and an opening to his heart. So as you place your hands in his, you create this deep connection. And that heavy burden that you brought up in your body, you can tell him about it, but he already knows. But if it feels good to say it or think it, you can express that to him now. Good. I don't want to stop you, but as you express this through thought, through feeling in your body, I want you to give your body permission to let this go. Is everybody ready to let it go? No, I thought so. Sometimes you guys need reminders of why it's not your job or why it's not serving you to hold on to this. What is it that you believe that's keeping this in you? Maybe you have something coming to mind. I don't know what's on the other side. I don't know if I know how. I don't know if I'm worthy. Thoughts like that. I want you to listen to the answer. Is that true? Is it helpful? No. Would it be easier for you to move forward in life without this fear, this feeling, this burden? Are you ready to let it go now? I feel like some of you must need a message from him first. So they're still getting no's. So maybe some of you need to listen in. Is there a message Christ has for you that would help you hear or help you hear and help you understand what he can do for you and why it's okay for you to let go. If you can't hear the words, just let your spirit hear it until I get to go ahead. Listen for the message. Okay, I'm going to let you know what I'm hearing. Like, I'm hearing like it's okay that you've held this and you've felt strong and that you could carry it. But that's what I'm here for, is so you don't have to anymore. Oh, okay, that feels good. Is everyone ready now? Yes. Okay. I, wa- I want you just to take some deep breaths. And while you do, I want you to imagine everything you're carrying, especially that space and place of the body, moving up into your heart. That heaviness, if it looks like a dark shadow or darkness in your body, that might help moving that darkness from your heart down your arms and into his hands. Feel that moving up through his hands and his arms into his heart. Almost like he's taking the burden off your shoulders, literally. And you don't have to understand how or why, just let it happen. Just knowing his heart was created to do this and he knows exactly how to lift this and carry this for you. All right. Just take some deep breaths and let this process happen. Whether you see or sense it, just know it's possible. I want you to also feel the shifts in your body. Not just imagine, but sense any shifts happening, noticing the change, the transformation, the lightness happening. And just breathe with it. Okay. Is it complete? No, I feel like it might take some time, but can we move forward? Yes. So just let this process happen. Okay, the next step is I want you to see Christ move to the back of your heart. And he has his hand at your back, and he places his hand at the back of your heart. I want you to feel something happening in your heart, a deep remembrance and reconnection, as if he's opening something that's already there. In your heart, there is this deep connection to the love of God, which we're taught about in the scriptures. And he's helping lift that burden off of your heart so that you can remember the love of God in your own heart, in your own being. A lot of those feelings that you had before were filled with fear, and fear disconnects us from God. That's why he asks us to fear not. So he lifted the fear, the feelings, so that you can remember the love that is already inside you, the love that created you, the love of your father and your mother, your parents, that resides in your being. So I want you to give your body permission to receive that love and remind your body what it feels like to be in a state of love. Sometimes we get so familiar with fear, we forget what love feels like. So don't just imagine that light filling your heart. I want you to give your body permission to receive the light. You can even feel it expanding and pulsing through your body, like waves of light through the veins of your body, touching each cell and tissue and every space in your body. You can breathe that in, feel that movement, that motion, that light, that divine essence that's already inside of you. And just sparking that divine remembrance of the divine nature that is you. Okay, as you're creating this beautiful remembrance of love through your being, I want you to see in front of you now this beautiful mirror that Christ has brought with him. And in this mirror, it's becoming more clear for you to see your reflection of your true divine nature. I want you to see what she looks like, but more importantly, what she feels like. Does she feel courageous? Does she feel radiant? Does she feel grateful and loving and joyful, faithful and powerful, vibrant, strong, wise? I've given you some ideas, but I want you to take a moment with this reflection and realize what your true nature is. Be present with it. I don't want you just to remember, I want you to receive that into your being. I want your spirit to wake up and remember that that divine nature is not just this reflection in the mirror, that it is who you are, that it is inside you, implanted and coded into your very being. I want you to feel that essence waking up inside of you. I can feel like this power and this light moving through. Can you feel it? Give your body permission to feel what that divine nature feels like, your true identity. What does it feel like to be in connection with my true identity? What does it feel like to let go of the falsehoods that I thought were me? What does it feel like to allow this love to awaken my connection to my divine being, my divine essence, my divine identity? Just let your body remember this. You've forgotten for too long, and it's time to remember the truth of who you are. And just breathe that into your being. I'm just going to let you finish absorbing this light, this remembrance, this reconnection while I complete this space and close it off. So just keep breathing, receiving, welcoming this new remembrance in your body and your spirit. I'm just going to give gratitude to those who participated physically and spiritually. And give gratitude to our bodies and our spirits for bringing up exactly what needed to be healed and released today. And we're just going to close this space in this circle so that we can move into our lives transformed, renewed, and different. Because of what you let go today, you are brighter and stronger, lighter. So just give gratitude for the work that you completed today. Okay, we can start bringing ourselves back to reality, but I want you to know this space is there for you. The sacred space can be returned to at any time, any space that you need reconnection to yourself, to divinity. You can invite anyone to the sacred space and learn and process and receive in a divine way. That it's there for you. This isn't something I just do. This is something that our spiritual team wants us to remember how to reconnect in this internal and visceral kind of way. So just take a few deep breaths and then start bringing awareness to the space around you. And then you can just wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back to earth, to humanity. We want to stay in our divine places, but we have missions, callings, purposes to fulfill here. So bring all that divine essence with you and that presence as you move forward. Thank you for letting me be here. That is all I have for you today.
Thank- Wow, thank you so much, Megan. That was wonderful. I think we might have a few questions.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
closing my eyes at the first, still, I mean, through a lot of it. So
I
that's perfect.
know.
We can kind of process. I love kind of maybe hearing some things that people experienced or yeah, answering any questions. So let me look at the chat. I did not even do good at that. So
Don't worry about it. We have lots of wonderful comments about other good examples, feminine examples in the Bible and in our scriptures, and lots of wonderful comments about what divine aspects we show that are like our Heavenly Mother. And okay, here comes some questions for you.
okay, I'm gonna go through the chat and see all the good things I didn't even get to see because I get in the zone.
That's okay.
Okay, so um I got okay, so some of you shared what the people that you were thinking about in the scriptures. Is that what we want? So we got Esther, Ruth, Mary, Deborah, Mother Teresa. I love all those women. Thank you for sharing your ideas. We also have someone who said, I always wondered how I could be exactly like my father, right? It was like something seems wrong here. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. And then it says, what if we focused on our heavenly attributes more? Yes, such a good point. Like, why aren't we talking about this and not just learning? We're actually receiving these divine attributes. Okay. I was always frustrated that we didn't have more open revelation about her, but maybe it's because I needed to meet her in my own space like you. So validating. Yes, I don't know if that's like the way it's meant to be. I actually have done a lot of research and I'm just about to publish a book about why she was taken and hidden. So I'll include that. But there's I feel like there's reasons she was hidden and reasons she hasn't been connected to us. And there's always divine reasons too. But I think there is an orchestrated thing that kept her hidden because it keeps us from our full power. Like the feminine and masculine God power is the way things are created and the way the world works. And if we don't have that complete knowledge, there's pieces missing and we can't have that fullness. So for now, yes, you don't have to find her anywhere but here, and that's where she is. And here, places where we can talk. Okay, my kids are very different, and I love them all the same, right? She loves us, they love us, even though we're all different. Okay, ability to regulate others in balance. Oh, that's a good attribute, like holding space for other people's stuff. I think that's like mothers are really good for that, right? How many times have we comforted our little child when they are struggling through something and we just love them even though they're struggling? Okay, joyful creation. That was so lovely. You guys are lovely. Okay. All right. Do you learn this more from inside or scriptures or other people? So I was surprised I was blocking Jesus. I didn't want to because his suffering. Okay, that's one of the people. Okay. So when we're talking about this, are we talking about mother? Like, did I learn this mother stuff? Because I, first of all, learned it from personal experience by connecting to her and receiving from her. And then I went to scriptures and places of knowledge to see where she was so that I could say, okay, is anyone else talking about this? Is she a part of our doctrine? Does she have a place, or is it just me who's missing her? And then I found scriptures that validate it. I found so many other women who are opening up and learning and connecting with her. And so I love that. That was a great question. So it can be very personal, but it can also be a study and by learning and all the good things. Yes, some people don't like Christ taking the thing because they're like, oh, I feel bad that you're going to be hurt or you have to fill this thing for me. And he's like, no, that's my job. So I love your block. And I felt that. I was like, are we ready to move forward? Are we ready to move forward? And there's just, you're not the only one who feels that way. So I'm glad that that came forward for you. Okay. As daughters of God, do we get the same blessings as men? That's a big question that is like one of my wounds. I don't know if I can answer that for everybody. I don't think it's the same, but I don't know if it's meant to be the same. I think it's different, and it's going to be amazing when we learn all of the things this means. But I think the blessings are different. I think our gifts and our powers are different. And by divine design, it's just not, we just don't understand it fully yet. That's my thoughts, but I'm not a full expert on all these things too. It's just what I've received and know so far. But that's just my idea. Okay, he told me to be still, be soft, receive. I felt tight shoulders, stubborn. I need to be strong. I can't just be loved and receive. Oh, this is so the feminine, guys. All of us are so not in our feminine. So that is so true. Like we feel like, no, I can be strong. I don't, the feminine receiving that divine nature is women's divine nature is being able to receive. We were designed to receive in lots of ways. So you softening, he's teaching you how to step in your feminine. Your feminine power is that receiving, that softening, that ability to not have to be that masculine protector thing, that's interesting that that came up for you, but I can see that he's soft. And that's what I've learned from him. He wants me to be more soft and not have to carry everything. It's like I can help you. Like I was designed to be this masculine divinity of support for you so you could rise in your femininity and your gifts. So the more you let go and you soften, you surrender to him, the softer and easier it is for you to feel your spiritual gifts and to feel your divine nature opening. So I'm so glad that you brought that up because I feel like that's a huge thing for all of us. And
Can I
then
comment
you have
on
a
that?
comment? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that when Jesus was on the earth, he never asked anything from anyone. He was always giving, and he was just saying, "Receive, receive, receive, receive from me." So we're just being obedient when we go to him and we're like, "Give me, just give me what I need. Tell me what I need. Give it. I'll take it."
I love that. Yeah, because it's a very feminine, it's hard. So many of us have trained ourselves to only give and do, and we have to do this outward. And so the receiving part is harder. But he's like, no, guys, this is my job. Just let me do the things and receive it. So good call. How have you focused more on Heavenly Mother's love, on her presence in the daily life? How can we learn more from you? Ooh, all the good things. Okay, so in daily life, I do a lot of meditation and I hear her more, which is interesting. And I hear her through song. So I can hear her singing and I've listened and written some of her songs. Um, I I think in a daily life, it is that ability to connect with my own feminine intuition, my own feminine creativity, my feminine like attributes, like we've been talking. So the more that I realize that my intuition is safe to share, that my creation power is beautiful and wonderful and accepted, that my strength and my wisdom is needed. And the more I share it, I realize I'm basically connecting to her because she's said she's always been with me. She's inside of me. So it's not have to be necessarily, it doesn't always have to be like, I'm connecting to Heavenly Mother today. Like it can be because of who I am, because of the way I'm learning to interact with my divine nature and my gifts and my love and my nurturing presence and my faith and who I am is connecting to her because she is like flowing through me because of my connection to her. The feminine divinity is very experiential and internal. It's not something we like necessarily practice and know. It's like we sense it, we embody it. It's just a knowing in our being that she is here and she's with us. Oh, I just had one thought come to mind though. Something you can do is I've started the practice of stepping on the actual earth. I know that's a thing people do, grounding, but I actually imagine I do a whole tree of life thing, but she's her essence is in the tree of life. So I stand on the earth, and you know those roots we created today? So you can do this practice. This is a good one. I stand on the earth and my roots go out, and then I touch the roots of the tree of life and I absorb all her goodness because I learned how trees connect to each other and speak through the roots. So I said, well, if mother is in the mother tree and I connect to her and she connects to me. So I know that's very like out there for some of you, but some of you might really love that. And I do all kinds of tree of life stuff. So, but that's one way to like connect to earth. It doesn't have to be imagining her roots. It could be breathing the air outside, listening to the birds. Like I really believe her spirit somehow is imbued into all these creations that I don't think God just created. I think both the gods created. So connecting to her is can be a very experiential. It's inside me, it's all around the world, it's connecting to nature, it's lived, it's experienced, it's breathed. That's how I feel her. All right, no, that's a lot, but did that answer it? Okay. And I want to be more like my Heavenly Mother. I didn't have the best example of women on earth. Yes, yes, thank you for reminding me. There are many divine women. I have to look for more. Yes. And there is very unhealthy patterns of mother to mother, daughter to daughter, sisterhood, sisterhood. We are not living in our divine nature as women, and it's okay. We have so many patterns to heal, so many programs to break, and it's okay that we do. It's okay that our mothers didn't teach us this. They didn't know. I mean, it's okay that we didn't have all this knowledge. Like it's time for us to bring it back and to remember, but we got to give everyone grace before us because it's not very pretty. I didn't pass all this to my kids, and I'm always like, I wish I would have known this when I was having babies, right? So there's things we've done wrong, there's things our mothers have done wrong, and we know we're human and our nature is very strong in our human nature. So just give yourself grace while we're learning how to be in this divine nature because it's a process of healing. And that's why we have women to support women. That's why people heal. That's why people come to me and you and all of our supportive healers out there in the world. Okay. I want, I love the tree root connection. And I know I'm going to do a meditation on it someday because I'm like, whoa, I love doing this and it's coming to me. So I'm sure there's people who want that. Okay. I find her in earth, in nature, in father, in the cosmos. Yes. When I stand on the earth, I say, I'm like kind of native. I love all the native stuff. So like Mother Earth and Father Sky, like breathe me in and connect to you in a very prayerful way. But I do feel that too. I feel like they have their roles. Somehow they're connected and united. So I love that you see that too. Generational healing, so much generational healing. I almost felt the ancestors here today, but I just felt like that would have just taken us off on a whole other thing. We'll have to do another one. I am a chain breaker, a man, girlfriend. That's right. So those are such great questions. Thank you for bringing them to the forefront because I just got in the zone and I appreciate your commentary and your questions because it always expands in what we're learning. So,
Thank you
okay.
so much,
Thank you
Megan.
guys
Is
for
there
this.
a way that, so people, I'm sure people have benefited so much from this, our sisters and even brothers, if that's if that's who felt inspired to join. And
They
I
need
would
to know
love,
her too. I mean, this isn't
yes,
just a girl party. They need her mother. I just connect with
right,
the women.
right. Oh, I love it. So, how can people connect with you to learn more about what you do and how to work with you?
Um, well, there's lots of places. I do a lot of things. Usually people connect with me first through doing like hypnotherapy sessions. But I also offer courses and retreats and healing events. So I'll include that. I'll give you the link that has some things. I have a book and a podcast and all the things. So if I'll share my little link tree with all the options for people to connect with me online, or if they want to schedule with me, I do personal sessions, group sessions, retreats. You can listen to me on the internet, buy a book, all the good things. There's so many ways to connect. So I hope I didn't overwhelm you, but everybody might have a different way they want to hang out with me. So
Thank you. We have comments saying, thank you so much, Megan. We benefited so much. So thank you and all of our love to you and blessings. Have a wonderful day.
bye.